Welcome into episode 10, and don't you worry because today is going to be a big one. Celebrating the 10th episode, we're going to do something kind of big. Taking our TNT here, we're going to use it, go ahead into the nether, through the portal, and get ourselves full netherite. Finally taking the last step forward in our gear progression. So, with the help of my friend Saunders and with the gunpowder farm I built last episode, it's time to go ahead and get ourselves some TNT so we can start blasting away in the nether. So after a short while of AFKing at said gunpowder farm, I'm reminded of just how good the farm actually is, and while I might not be the best at crafting the TNT, I certainly get the job done, as we can go ahead now, craft up the last few pieces to get us a stack and 19 more. This will get us plenty of debris. Of course, it won't be enough to get all of our tools, but it'll at least get us our main weapon and our armor so we can look just that much more intimidating, because that's the only real reason I want netherite at this point in time. So back here in the nether now, we are going down our own little tunnel, digging down. Of course, I'm checking the Y level here at the start of the clip. The reason I'm digging down my own tunnel is because, as you can see here, there's been a lot of mining from other members, and I just kind of want to get out of the way of all of the other tunnels, just so we can go to new land and blast through fresh netherrack. And as you can see there, as we were mining the tunnel to lace with TNT, we already found a bit of ancient debris, so we're at least not going to go home empty-handed, so that's always a benefit. But now I think I'm going to go ahead and start mining. I'm going to start placing TNT so I can do mining, which I'm not sure really how much you can consider this mining, but I'm going to blast through all the nether rock, and I'll be back to you whenever we're done mining, at least for this session. And now finally leaving the nether with 14 scraps and a bit more ancient debris safely stowed away in my inventory, it's time to take focus on a different matter. See, I know we'll have, after I smelt this gold and the rest of these debris, I will have enough netherite to at least get most of my armor to netherite. That way I can kind of up the intimidation factor for a bunch of people. So that way that both of our guild members have full netherite armor, and Ken TV may be getting some soon. So to explain what else we're doing, we need a bit of context, because whenever we logged on this morning, Saunders found most of his valuables completely gone. And after some more investigation, we found that the entirety of both the Well Keepers and Spawn Keepers guilds valuables were taken from them. So we know who took them. It was very clearly Yokai and Draconic's guild, but we don't know where they're located still. So we need to find their base and take back what they've stolen from us. That way we can call it even and handle this diplomatically. But before we go finding their base to do that, I feel like it would be a great disservice to you to not show me actually upgrading it to netherite. And I can get 3 of my pieces upgraded with 3 more upgrade templates to use later. So now everything but my chestplate is upgraded, but at this point our elytras are still supposed to be a secret from everyone else on the server. So I'm going to have to still rock the diamond chestplate at least for a bit. And so after hitting Saunders a couple times, I do think it's time to once more equip the elytra and go fly around the world a little bit to see if we can find any signs of this secret third faction. So the first thing to clarify is that I'm not just flying in the dark here. I have a general idea of where their base might be, because they've told me 2 very important pieces of information, and I have a third important piece. One, that they're near a ocean body of water of some sort. They're along a shore or maybe on the ocean. I don't know that, but we'll be searching over oceans mostly because that's where I think they are. Another one, they have a almost fully emerged shipwreck near them. They've described this as almost the beacon of their base, and the main thing I'm looking out for is a shipwreck that is almost fully above the water. I don't know if it's upright, but I do know it is out of the water. So, with those two pieces of information, and also the possible piece of information that they're near the world border, judging by the fact that whenever I put up the world border, they were the ones to complain about it the most. So, I'm going to go out as far as I can, either A, follow the world border, or B, follow the ocean, until I eventually find their base, if I ever do. But after a while of traveling and not finding anything, Saunders wanted to show me this. It was a sign saying, "Thanks for the iron, ROTR. And other than the fact that it's an ominous sign with an ominous signature, that was a replica, because that wasn't the only sign that they left. There were actually two. But unfortunately, I do not have any footage of the first one. So, with that information to go off of, we tried and figured out what ROTR standing for. And the best thing we could come up with was Revenge of the something. We don't know what the last R was supposed to stand for, and to this day, we still don't know. But it's time to go ahead, fly back out, and maybe even check the nether for an easier angle at finding this base, because I do know there is a nether pathway connecting ours with theirs. So, time to go ahead and set back out with my elytra.
Yeah, because he
No,
always
I'm
loses stuff.
talking to them, Kenneth.
Wait a second.
I'm talking to them.
I found a portal. I found a portal.
You did?
Yep.
You should go through it, tell us the coordinates, and then we'll strategize.
Okay.
What we want to do.
No.
Well, first of all, I want to take all my stuff back.
Okay.
All I know is their base is like 5,000 blocks out.
It's by the world border. I found it.
You did?
Yes.
Of course they put it all the way at the world border.
They have all the bookshelves here. I had finally made it to their base at the world border, and as I start opening their chests, I just so happen to notice the second I get to the last one, and the valuables one, right here, it is almost exactly what was stolen. So I did what any sensible person would do. I didn't take any extra, I just took what they stole from us, and a little bit extra for the diamonds that they stole and the netherite that they stole that they've already used up. I did make sure to denote this on the sign that I left, no signature this time because I didn't need to be mysterious. I just wanted to get our stuff back because they had stole it unjustly. And it wasn't like this group had a history of giving back the stuff they took, as they were already in debt 14 diamonds to King Nick that they planned on repaying, but showed no sign of actual intention to do so. So, with everything that they had stolen from us, along with compensation for the diamonds and netherite that they took and used, we go ahead, take the disc, because this was originally Nick's, and we go back to our base eventually, after, of course, cleaning out the bookshelves at their enchantment table. We left almost everything else, though, at least for now. But the location of this base doesn't just serve to get us the stuff that we used back, but it also serves as a further bargaining token. I am currently the only person on the server other than Yokai and Draconic who knows where this guild resides. So, now with their secrecy blown, we have so much more power when it comes to dealing with things politically. So with that in our back pocket, we're taking back the bookshelves that Draconic had stolen from us, and we'll make our way back to the base where we can continue getting the netherite we need. But after putting everything back to its rightful place in the world, Saunders still hungered for more. So I decided to show him to where the base was, because he was the one who took the brunt of the robbery and ended up with most of his stuff gone. So I led him over to the base, and when I accidentally hit F2 instead of F3, as I do so often, I go ahead, pull up the F3 menu so I can relay my coordinates to Saunders, so he can take his own pick at everything at this base. And while this wasn't unjustified in our defense, we may have went a little over the line of what was considered compensation, or at least what we thought may be considered compensation at the time, as it was later figured out that they did in fact steal 3 netherite ingots from the spawn keepers. So we thought I thought in the moment we were kind of overstepping our bounds. They had stolen from us, but still, we were being civil human beings. But now in the future that I know what they actually took, I feel less and less bad about this. But now, with Saunders en route, we can go ahead, take back the little that they still have in their chests, make our way back to base, and finally get finished up with getting all this netherite that we really need. So after another cycle of doing the same thing I did at the beginning of the video, I didn't want to make you sit through it. I do in fact have full netherite armor, not counting the chest piece, which I of course don't have on, but now we do officially have complete full netherite armor. And the reason I didn't get the achievement here is because I had Saunders armor in my inventory once before. But with another upgrade template left over and still more netherite to spend and more tools to upgrade, I needed to go ahead and get more diamonds at the Tunnel War. So the next time you see me, I will be a couple diamonds richer so I can create more upgrade templates. And hopefully we can go ahead on our way to make our entire set netherite.
I had no idea about it.
Yep, sounds like them. Okay, so I'm gonna have to check up on the server, see if everything's good. And how bad everything is, really. And the worst had struck. And while you can hear the cicadas in the background of my mic, I do hope you excuse that, because it looked like Yokai and Draconic were both online the server. I could see their status on Discord saying that they were on, so I left the call with Anthony, closed out of all of the things I was doing for the Air Dreamers campaign, which you will be able to watch here in a couple months over on the Failing Forward channel, and I booted up Guildcraft. Now, usually I'll boot straight into the server, that way there is no downtime, but I want to be ready off the rip to go ahead and join and be aware of my surroundings. See, I had actually been AFK at the time they logged on, but in some kind of stroke of luck, my internet went down the second they logged on, leaving me safe for the time being. But as you can see here, my Modrinth file wouldn't open up no matter how hard I tried. So I'm gonna get that working, and I'll come back and talk to you whenever I see what they've actually done, or if they've done anything on the server. I was just kind of afraid that they would kill our villagers or steal back what they thought, but I could have never expected what would have actually happened. Okay, there we go. There we go. Alright. Well, we're either cooked or we're cooked. And that was a perfect description of what was about to happen here, because I knew these two had the worst reputation on the entire server, and them teaming up to stop us, it could never be good. Okay. So they've ruined that. They've ruined that. Looks like they've ruined that too. Well, I have contingency plans for a reason. And I was right. I did have a contingency plan for if this ever happened, but I did notice the server was acting strange today. It was lagging quite a bit more than usual, and there was nothing different except those two being on. The server can typically hold up to 5 people flawlessly, but something was clearly wrong. I feared the worst. I feared that they were doing something horrible to our base, but Luckily, we have the first guild hall. It's kind of a sanctuary for me because I've built it, and so far, my guild is the only one that knows about it, and even then, not even the entire guild knows of its existence. So, I will be standing in this structure for a while, and I'm gonna log off here, knowing my location is at least relatively safe from what they might do to me. But the first guild hall wasn't safe enough for my liking, so I went a bit further past it. While it was mistakenly along the axis, I really could care less at this point as we make our way through this birch forest. Because I fear the worst. While I've only seen our industrial district to this point, I'm well aware that they're still around our base, and as far as I'm aware, they could be burning the whole thing down, they could be lava casting, but I just had to wait and see, but I still didn't want to. So I made my way through the forest, and I'm going to find some place to set up so that we're not just left out in the open, and we're left somewhere completely unknown to anybody on the server, except for you and I. So it's time to go ahead, make our way through this place. I'm elected not to use my elytra right now, or my ender pearls, or any of my materials for that matter, because I'm very much so scared that whenever I get back to my base, all of the materials that once were easy to gather, such as gunpowder, XP, and food, will no longer be accessible to me. And in fact, I already know this, but I don't know to the degree quite yet. They might still have the armadillos there. They might still have the zombie in the armadillo farm. I have no way of telling unless I go back, and I'm not going to do that. So, I found this ravine here with this tree in the bottom, and I might leave it. I'm tempted to cut it down, but I think it actually kind of looks nice. So, I think here in this little alcove here, I'm going to dig myself a tiny little base, just so I don't have nowhere to live if everything goes wrong. I'm going to send these coordinates to all of my guildmates, so if they are in trouble, I can bail them out. But other than that, I don't really think I'm going back until somebody else is on the server to back me up. Well, I guess that's a near immediate never mind, because Sarah just got on, so I think I might just hop on Guildcraft actually for a while. I might just fly around, see what has actually happened to my base. Since Sarah's on, I guess it's safe enough to be around, and if they kill her, well, then we have an even better case against them, and of course I'll have it on camera because I am recording. You know, smart. It would be nice if either of my two guild members could get on right now, but one's at work and one's internet has cut out, so we're on our own. Alright. First of all, can't be using my ender pearls right now. I'll still keep them on my hotbar. I just used a rocket without realizing. That probably wasn't the smartest decision. I'm gonna be running low on food here soon. Today's just not my day. Today is just not my day. But it's fine. That's not where that goes. Okay. Just a place to offload some stuff. I'm just waiting to see Sarah hop on. Because when she when she logs on, it's safer to go back. It's much safer. I don't know. Honestly, you know what? And I really wish I could show you this next full clip, because it's honestly charged with emotions that I couldn't even script if I wanted to. But the whole thing was streamed over on Twitch, so let me know if you'd be interested in me porting the VODs over for you to watch the whole interaction. Good time to make my way out of that cave, because I don't really want my base getting found. Oh, there she is, okay. Whew. And as you could tell by my sigh of relief, I was, in fact, relieved, because Mass Chaos was one of our alliance members. Between the Keepers of the Well and the Spawn Keepers, together we are just the Keepers. Or at least that's just what I've been calling ourselves. So, now with a bit of backup, it's now a 2v2 instead of a 1v2. So I can finally make my way back to Spawn and see what had actually conspired there. And after a lengthy argument in chat and a quick move over, I come here to the Spawn Keepers. Now, I was extremely glad to see this place untouched. It was, of course, a very peaceful nation, but Nick was one of the biggest victims of the robberies. Same with Mass Chaos. So, going around, I was, of course, hesitant. As you can see, I'm crouching around this whole place, and with Draconic still very much so active in chat, I was shaking in my boots as I made my way through the Spawn Keeper's base. Oh, this is my first time seeing my base. That's... of course. Okay. That's Sarah. And as you could tell, in this moment, I didn't feel rage. I didn't want revenge. I just felt defeated. My entire base was gone, lava casted, reduced to ruins, but neither of the culprits were anywhere to take revenge out on. Not yet. I'm going to kill them. I'm guessing it was Brandon griefed the entire base. That's a different signature. And that's what caught me off guard the most. After sending a screenshot to Saunders himself, whose head is right here, I just wanted answers about who Sight was, and who ROTR was, or what they stood for, what those acronyms stood for, but there was no worth in finding out right now. It wasn't answers I wanted, it was my base back. All the hours of hard work I spent building farms, building bases, helping others with what they have done, all reduced in a matter of seconds. I think I summed it up perfectly early when I said, there was no rage, there was no vengeance in my heart, just defeat. Huh. Look who decided to show up. Look who decided to show up.
My dumbass forgot I muted myself.
And in this moment, I wanted to just walk over with my sword and kill him. I probably outranked him in skill and gear, but I just didn't want to. Revenge wouldn't be gotten by just killing him here. I wanted answers about why he did this, about why he thought it was even remotely equivalent. He stole from us first. And he's over here preaching about the fact that this was a reaction to what we did, even though they were the instigators. This isn't a reaction. This is an escalation. There is a big difference. So, we talk for a while. He, of course, denies everything. I do find it odd that he would grief his own house, but I feel like that's an awfully convenient cover-up for him. But as you may have seen in the background, the lava cast around the well is very interesting. We are the well keepers, and the well still stands almost perfectly beneath the lava. So, we talked to him for a bit. I foolishly scroll to my elytra, and he figures it out pretty fast that we have, in fact, beat the dragon. Not that it matters too much anyway. But we're still standing here, waiting for backup of either kind. Yokai or Mass Chaos could help us out, could turn the tides of this battle in either direction, but there was just a stalemate for a good while where we just talked and Draconic didn't leave anything. He didn't tell us what he did. I admitted to everything but told him why it was completely justified because honestly, it was. But we continued talking for almost around about an hour and I'll show you just the highlights of it.
Okay, that I'm gonna be honest. I may have stolen stuff, but I've never been in Sarah's house besides to grab like 3 carrots, and that was it.
Yeah,
So
no, I kind of
anybody
expected
stole
it was more
If anybody
Brandon.
stole Sarah's, it was either Brandon, Nick, or for some reason one of your other faction members.
Yeah, Nick
Because
Nick
I
has
have
no real motivation
no
to do
idea.
that. And there it is. He had finally been pinned with another robbery, but still, he deflected the blame onto not just his other guild member, but everybody else on the server. People who either A, already have netherite, or B, are in either a team or very close alliance with the other guild. So his reasonings didn't make sense. So it was either him or Yokai, but it seemed he wasn't going to fess up that easily. So as Mass Chaos joins in, I kind of get the want to kill him, but I'm not gonna act quite yet.
Yay. All my stuff was stolen.
At least
Yeah.
your house is still standing.
What?
Wasn't he playing earlier today? He was on
Yeah,
Nutty.
he's still
Yes.
on.
Yeah,
He's
on
currently
the server.
AFK somewhere. He's
Huh,
currently AFK
that's
somewhere.
that's interesting. It's very interesting. And it actually was more interesting than I make it sound out, because we'll realize here soon enough, he was a little closer to us and a little more involved in this than we could have ever truly guessed. I'm gonna keep it up with you. He probably has it in his
Bruh.
upper chest.
Bruh.
Okay, I don't even care. Hold up.
Oh,
About that netherite, I ain't take
yeah,
anything.
what?
Likely story, bud.
I took no netherite at all. I took no netherite at all.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I'm being dead serious. Hold on.
I'm just saying, Sarah, we
on.
could drop him right now. See if he's lying.
Do it.
Okay. And while he had none of the netherite on him, that didn't prove his innocence. And now down his only team member, a team member which was hiding beneath our feet the whole time, which was very, very concerning. It's just left with Mass Chaos, I, and Draconic. And here I realized we had the numbers. We could take him out. So I sent Sarah a message.
Oh, that's gross. So who stole my netherite then?
Wasn't me. Again, didn't know you had netherite.
Where'd you get that chest plate from? Yet, Sarah did not respond to my message. While she looked like she was prepared for a fight, I didn't want to just start it. I was not in a position to do that. It would make me look even worse than I already did in their eyes. Sure, all my actions may be justified, but they don't see it that way. Or maybe I wasn't justified at all, but either way, I'm still stuck here at a stalemate, with Draconic still in my sights.
The only person who had diamonds to steal was Kenneth on day 1, but I didn't steal those.
Yeah, well, he was also kind of an idiot leaving on my chest,
Like,
I'll be honest.
Yeah, well, but the only diamonds y'all had were in y'all inner chest.
Yeah.
And whatever the fuck the diamond entire set of that Anthony had just sitting in his basement when I went into the secret room. So I didn't steal the armor.
And while Yokai in chat tries to pin it on either I or Anthony, I still have no idea. Both of us at the time had full netherite, as you can see. I'm not 100% sure which one he was blaming, but Draconic's still here lying through his teeth. He says he wasn't involved in the griefing. He says he was barely involved in the stealing, which was a strange mix-up to what he said beforehand, which was that he had absolutely no hand in it. So, as anybody who has experience with getting truths out of people with interrogations would know, once the story changes just a little bit, you can't trust the story at all. So, we look draconic in the eyes, and we get prepared to fight him, but not before we engage in a little more diplomacy. We can't take him out like savages. Not yet.
Not like the only reason Gavin had the house though left over is because he didn't want to build another building. You can't tell me. You can't tell me I'm entirely
I
wrong.
just wanted to repurpose your ugly ass
No, I-
house for
Okay.
something actually useful.
I mean the gems are no. This is one fucking bad. The
But
gems
no, the
are
gems
still
are
here.
decent looking, but you know, not anymore.
Well, now the house isn't important either. How about that?
I mean, you could just fill in the blocks of I don't know stone bricks and the cobblestone.
I don't care. I have no earthly possessions I care about right now in this game.
I just want to know who stole from me.
Well, it's none of us.
I did no
I may have
such
been-
thing.
I
don't
may
know.
be a currently
The
known
only
thief.
thing I
Lying straight
okay,
to
I will say this right now.
I said
I
said
will
I'm
say
a
this right now.
known
The
thief,
only
Gavin.
thing I stole from you were
Known
carrots because
thief.
I didn't want
Not
anybody to have
unknown.
carrots.
A known thief.
Who's done thief?
I just said meat. You fucking moron. I said it
I didn't
three
hear you because your
different
mic
times.
was glitching the hell out.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's because
my
this
voice is
VC mod sucks. Still here, man.
bad. I
Crazy.
hate. Nope.
What?
Alright, so what
Okay,
you plan on
I will
giving
say
us for
this. Oh,
Yeah.
him?
No, I mean, you just destroyed everything we worked for. I expect something back for it.
Oh. You wanna see what I'm gonna give you for
Not gonna
that?
be Yoa. That also works.
I get it. Sarah, I didn't do anything to you. No, hold on. Pause, Captain. I was thinking of something I could give you. Stop. 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 Stop.
Hold on.
I was gonna hand something to you.
Oh, womp womp.
News, dead.